In the name of God. Hello, dear students. My name is Masoud. I'm a physics teacher. We are in Fairkhaw's website at your service to explain physics curriculum, grade 12 for you. Also, we have an application by this name. You can download. You can watch our videos. So far, we talked about tangential speed. Actually, I'm gonna let's say jog your memory about this subject. What's the tangential speed? Tangential speed means linear speed in a circular, in an angular, in a circular track. Linear speed along a circular track is called tangential speed, right? So I prepared some questions have to do with tangential speed for you. Let's read the number one. Question number, tangential speed is defined as, right? I'm gonna, tangential speed is defined as what? Instantaneous linear speed directed along the tangent to the circular track. So it mentions two things. Definition mentions two things, instantaneous and linear, right? And after that, it mentions the direction which is directed toward the tangent to the circular track. So it's true. B, the instantaneous linear speed along a line drawn tangent to a circular path is true. That's why till now A and B are true. But let's say I want you to read the all options to make sure your answer is let's say quite right. That's why this is my suggestion, and I want you to read the all options. Don't neglect any option. D, it says the rate at which a body rotates about an axis. So did we talk about the rotation in let's say tangential speed? No, actually tangential speed does not have to do with rotation actually. That's why we don't accept it, and we want to circle this let's say right option, which is C, right? B, excuse me, number two, based on the equation Vt is equal to R omega, tangential speed is space related to the angular speed. Based on this equation, tangential speed means Vt, right? Which type of relationship is there between Vt and omega? There's no fraction here. That's why they are related to one another directly. The greater the tangential speed is, the greater the angular speed is. That's why you have to circle directly. Direct relationship is there between, let's say, direct relationship there is between tangential velocity and omega, which is angular velocity. Number three, tangential speed Vt is expressed in tangential speed is expressed, let's say, because Vt is linear quantity, right? I told you tangential speed means linear speed in a circular track. That's why, let's say, it has a unit of linear speed, not angular speed actually. That's why rad per second is not accepted. What do you say about rev per second? It's not accepted. A and B, so both of them are wrong. D, meter per second. So the only option is true is, let's say, D, meter per second. We have a figure here actually. We have some questions about the figure. Let me show it to you. Right now, I'm gonna solve. We will discuss this. The questions actually have to do with the figure. Figure below represents a carousel. We have a carousel or a merry-go-round on which two horses A and B rotating about a fixed axis. Use the figure below to answer the questions 4 to 8. So this figure is related to the question 4 till number 8. Right? Let's read the question number 4. Choose the correct relationship among the following. right? Correct relationship. Which relationship is true? A delta theta of A is equal to delta theta of B. Is it true? I'm gonna, let's say, tell you the key for solving this problem. For actually B, it says omega of A is equal to omega of B. C, alpha of A is equal to alpha of B. D, all of the above. Keep in mind that all of the angular information of all points, let's say on a carousel, are the same, right? All of the points, let's say all points on the carousel, all horses have the same, let's say delta theta. There's one number for delta theta of all points, right? What do you say about omega? There's only one number for omega for all points, whether the points are near to this axis of rotation or far, doesn't matter, right? So we have only one number for omega. What do I mean by one number? Means it's constant. It doesn't change. What do I say about alpha? Alpha of A is equal to alpha of B. It's not just for A and B. It's for all points of the, let's say, all points on the carousel. Actually, this information is true. So without thinking, angular information does not change, right? Angular information don't change. Keep in mind that actually angular information is the same for, let's say, all the points, unless, let's say, actually, otherwise the object changes its shape. If the angular information actually changes, if the, for example, delta theta of A is different from delta theta of B, so the object, let's say, loses its rigidity. The object deforms. That's why this condition is not taking place, actually. And in this situation, all of the options are true. Number 5, which of the following is happened, right? Which of the following is taking place? A, Vt of A is equal to Vt of B. Is it true? Tangential velocity of Vt is equal to, by the way, this is the axis of rotation. This green point is the axis of rotation. And A is, let's say, closer to the axis of rotation than B. That's why, let's say, I told you in previous lectures, and based on this equation, Vt is equal to R omega, the greater the, let's say, the greater the R is, the greater the Vt is. And Vt and R are directly related to one another. That's why the farther the object is from the axis of rotation, the greater the tangential speed is. That's why we don't accept this one. It says Vt of A is equal to Vt of B. It's not true. We don't accept it. B, Vt of A is smaller than Vt of B. Nice. Vt of A is smaller. Why? Because point A is very close to the axis of rotation than point B. That's why we accept this one till now. It's true. C, Vt of A is greater than Vt of B. So we don't accept it. It doesn't make sense because, let's say, A is very close to the center or to the axis of rotation. That's why this condition is not taking place. D, none of this. So we accept only this one, B, which is Vt of A with Vt of the nearer horse is smaller than Vt of the farther horse. Number 6, choose the correct relationship among the following. So which relationship is true? Delta S of B is greater than delta S of A. Is it true? Of course it's true because B, you see, B moves in a longer, let's say, in a longer circular track. But A moves in a, let's say, shorter circular track. That's why an arc length that B actually traverses it is greater than the arc length than A is, let's say, traverses it, B. So till now it's true, B. R of B is greater than R of A. Is it true? Of course. R means distance from the axis of rotation, r. Radius means distance from the axis of rotation. And it mentions the r of the farther point is greater than the r of the near point. Means r of b is greater than r of a is true. C, vt of b is greater than vt of a is true. That's why all of the options are true. Right? So we have three things. These three things for the farther objects, let's say, are greater than the, let's say, that the factors of the nearer things. What are these? The amount of arc length, the value of radius, and the magnitude of tangential speed. All of them are, let's say, greater than the nearer points, right? So what do you say about the tangential quantities right now, right? Are tangential quantities, let's say, equal to one another or not? Actually, they are not equal to one another. Actually, tangential velocities for each point, tangential velocity for each point differs, let's say, from the tangential velocity of the other, right? That's why for any particular point, there's its own, let's say, tangential velocity for each point on a carousel, on a rotating object. There's its own, let's say, radius. For each point, there's its own, for example, arc length, right? That's why tangential information or linear information are, let's say, different from one another. What do you say about the question number 7? It says horses on the carousel move at the same space. We have a gap here. Move at the same what? Tangential or angular speed, right? Let's say read it together. I'm gonna, let's say, show it to you. Choose question number 7. It says horses on the carousel move. It talks about the all horses. Let's say move at the same what? We have two options. Either we have tangential speed or angular speed, right? Which one is correct? But different, we have two options as well, tangential or angular speed. I'm sure you know the answer, right? I told you linear information differs, but angular information does not change. That's why it says the same horses on the carousel have the same angular speed, right? They have the same angular speed, but different what? Different tangential speed. Question number 8, Vt of B is greater than Vt of A. Why? Right? We have some justifications here. Let me read them for you. And I'm gonna choose the number 7 because I erased it for. I'm gonna choose that again. Horses on the carousel move at the same one, at the same angular speed, but with different tangential speed. Question number 8, Vt of B means farther point is greater than the Vt of A, which is nearer point, because horse B travels a greater arc length. It's true, because delta S of B is greater than delta S of A. B, horse B is farther from the center than horse A. It's true. C, horse B has a greater radius than horse A. It's true. So all of the above, let's say, are true. We have a problem here. This problem actually is the question of national exam. We have a table here. I didn't answer the, let's say, the question. I didn't choose the option. Actually, I'm gonna solve it here in front of your eyes. So we have 5 quantities within this table that, let's say, they are delta theta, angular displacement, delta S arc length, radius actually r, omega angular speed, and Vt tangential speed. So what do we look for the first, let's say, trial? We look for delta theta. Is information available for finding delta theta or not? Of course, because we have delta S and R. By means of delta S and R, we can find delta theta. Let me solve it for you. I say delta theta, the first equation for our textbook, delta theta is equal to delta S over R. I wanted to divide them by one another, 0.25 divided by 0.1. And the answer will be what? The answer will be 2.5, because one decimal point will go with one decimal point, and one more decimal point is left behind. That's why the answer will be 2.5 rad, right? To make sure your answer is true, actually use calculator, because calculator is allowed in national exam, no problem. But right now I don't have any calculator. No, it's the simple calculation. That's why it doesn't need to use calculation. What do you say about omega? Is information, let's say, available for finding omega or not? Of course, because we have, let me change the color of marker, because we have VT and R as well. That's why by means of VT and R, we can find omega, which was convenient here. Jog my memory. Think about it. Guess the rule before I write the, let's say, rule. I look for omega. I say omega is equal to VT over R. Is it true? Yes, it's true. So omega is equal to VT 1.5 divided by what? Divided by R 0.1. And the answer will be what? The answer will be 15 rad per second, because decimal points cancel out each other. So the correct answer is what? For delta theta, we have 2.5, right? 2.5. Till now, this option is true. We, let's say, till now, A and C are true, but we are not sure, because we have to study omega as well. For omega, we have 15, right? 15. Which one has 15? So A is true. C, it says 1 point. So A is true. The true answer is A, right? This is the question of national exam. Let me choose pick another question. Question number 10. Which of the following is correct, right? For 2 points, A and B, for a merry-go-round, and this is the question of national exam as well. Rotating about the fixed axis as shown in the figure, right? We have a figure here, A and B. A is farther than B from the axis of rotation, right? So which option is true? It says A, omega of B is equal to omega of A. It's true because it's the angular information. Angular information does not change, right? B, omega of B is greater than omega of A. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. We don't accept it, right? It's not reasonable, because angular information does not change. Otherwise, the object changes its shape. C, VT is greater than VT. VT of B is greater than VT of A. Let's say, let me check it for you. VT of B. Is VT of B greater than VT of A? And B is nearer to the axis of rotation than A. That's why it's not true. VT of B should be less than VT of A, right? Because the less the distance is, the less the tangential speed is. So we don't accept this one as well. Till now, this option is true. This one is wrong, and B and C are wrong. What do you say about D? D says VT of B is equal to VT of A. So it's not accepted. Tangential information, let's say, can't be equal to one another. That's why we don't accept it. The last question about this lesson, actually, question 11, when a wheel, and this is the question of national exam as well. When a wheel rotates about a fixed axis, think about a wheel rotates about a fixed axis, right? All points on the wheel we have a gap here. All points of the wheel have what? A, have the same angular speed and the same angular and the same tangential speed? No. The first part of the answer is true, no problem. But the second part is not true. That's why the sentence, let's say, is not right. B, this, so all points on the wheel have the same angular speed. It's true. Till now it's true. We accept it. But I told you we have to read all options to make sure your answer is the best, and to make sure you don't make any mistake. C, the same tangential speed. No, it's wrong. We don't accept it. The different angular speeds, is it true? Does it make sense to you? Different angular speed? Are angular information different? No. So from the beginning of this sentence, we know that this option is wrong, but we can finish, but I'm gonna finish the reading of this option is on different tangential speed. The second part of the text is right, but the first part of the statement is wrong. That's why, let's say we don't accept it. Only B is true. Thank you guys for watching this video. I want you to follow our next videos, and bye for now.